Donegal International Rally, a headline 270 stage miles. The competition is spread over 3 days in which every second will count.
This is a short rally where you have to go very quickly from the drop of the flag, and that's what we'll be doing. It's unlike the circuit where you wait and see what people are up to and play yourself in. You can't do that here. This rally is probably about a third of the length of the Circuit of Ireland, so you've got to go flat from the word go.
Billy Coleman, last year's winner, leads the field out to the first of 33 stages. The Friday stages are known to be extremely fast, and the Rothmans Porsche settles in right away. Their fears of Tony Pond in the Metro, however, are well justified, as this projectile, which is geared to do 150 miles an hour, is 20 seconds quicker than anyone on letter Logue. So that 20-second advantage represents 2 seconds per mile. Bertie Fisher and Austin Fraser are cautious at first, but the tarmac star is to be the rally's first major retirement, when a back axle seizes after only the 3rd stage. For Austin McHale and Christy Farrell in the Shell Oil's dealer Opel Team Ireland Manta, the time has come to win. They have been second in Donegal for the last 2 years, and above all they want to beat the man of Irish rallying, Billy Coleman. But what has actually happened?
The throttle jammed out, and with 400 horsepower, that's quite a problem.
And it's wrecked the gearbox, did somebody?
No, it blew the engine. By the time you sort of get to there, it's gone.
The first day has been good for Austin McHale. He leads his arch-rival Billy Coleman by, in fact, 40 seconds. And already these two hard chargers have pulled ahead of Vincent Bonner here in 3rd place. Mike Patterson is now the top visitor, followed by Collins, Cullen and McDade. Saturday morning and the start of the hardest day of the Shell Donegal Rally. Today there are 15 stages to cover, and many of these are Donegal classics like Derry Laggy and Atlantic Drive. Tyre choice is critical on these changing conditions, but McHale has made the right choice, and unknown to him, his lead is about to be dramatically extended. Billy Coleman has been off the road in Atlantic Drive. The Rothmans Porsche has hit a rock, and the gap between the leaders is now 1 minute 26 seconds. A gap that to many would seem unsurmountable, but the Corkman now has other ideas. Vincent Bonner has also been in the wars. He has dropped time through a puncture, but still holds 3rd place. The other Letterkenny driver, James McDade, with the son of the event's sponsor, Rory Kennedy, aboard, has moved up the leaderboard to 6th place in his Opel Ascona 400. McDade is reveling in these favourite stages, but his pleasure is about to come to a sudden and expensive end on the first run over Kindrum Lake. Miraculously, nobody is hurt, and McDade and Kennedy climb safely from the wreckage, a testament to the safety regulations in rally cars. The approach has been wrong at this 100-mile-an-hour jump. The Ascona climbs the wall, and thanks to the excellent marshalling by the Donegal Motor Club, no spectators have been hurt. The leader returns to the Milford service area, unaware that his pursuers are having another slight problem. Ronan, you say you got a bit of a misfire there?
It's just a slight misfire from it's not really a problem, but we're dropping 2 or 3 seconds at the start of every stage. It clears itself within about 200 or 300 yards, but we've just changed some injectors now and see if we can sort it out.
Right, and has this been going on for many stages?
Yeah, all today, every stage today.
What about Atlantic Drive? I believe that was a bit hairy.
It was a bit hairy, all right, yeah. We clipped a rock and just lying on the road on a right-hand bend, and we got a puncture and bent a crank rod.
So you were doing it at high speed at the time?
Pretty high speed.
What would you estimate?
I wouldn't like to say. I wouldn't like to tell you what I said either.
Kindram stage on the shores of Sheephaven Loch for the second time. McHale has relaxed the pace in the Manta, possibly too much, and Coleman has been catching all day. But as Austin goes through, Billy has a problem, as Vincent Bonner, stricken with a puncture, is ahead of him on the road. The Porsche is catching him, and he can't afford any delay. He must pass the Ascona before the end of the stage. Austin McHale has turned the wick up again as Coleman has totally dominated the day, and he is beginning to get a bit close for comfort. Billy is belting. By the third service at Milford, there is only 5 seconds difference on the road, but penalties have to be counted in. Bolton has taken third. In 15 stages, he has gained 5 places, but he is unlikely to climb much higher unless something gives up front. Vincent Bonner's puncture in Kindram 2 has cost him a place, and he still has to worry about Colliins, who is very close behind. As Colliins eases his Manta closer to Bonner, all the attention turns to the leaders, and Austin McHale begins to regret any leeway that he may have given his great rival earlier in the day.
We went a little bit easy this morning. Well, after the first 3 stages, we thought we had over 3 minutes of a lead over Billy. So we slowed down over the next 6 stages, and he took back nearly a minute and a half of us. So over the last 6, then we had to go harder, and at the moment I think it's 39 seconds is in it. It's made it very interesting. We made a rally back out of it now again. We gave him a chance to catch up on us.
We've had 12 fastest times out of 15, so we've caught up almost the complete deficit at this point. I think in fact there's 9 seconds between us now, I think, including all road penalties. So there's 40 miles of competitive driving tomorrow to clinch it now. So
this is news. The gap is thought to be 39 seconds. What penalty is he referring to?
Well, I think what happened was leaving Park Ferme, apparently his car wouldn't start this morning, and we had exactly the same experience on the Circuit of Ireland at Easter, where our car wouldn't start, and it's automatic. You lose 30, there's a 30-second penalty if the engine isn't running, leaving an overnight Park Ferme or control. So I think it's 9 seconds. I'm sure it's 9 seconds.
Billy's protest is rejected by the officials, so the gap is back to 39 seconds by Sunday morning. With 8 stages to go, it should be enough for Austin McHale. But with Coleman's blood up, you can never underestimate him, and nobody knows that better than McHale. Coleman and Rothmans throw everything into the final stages of the Shell Donegal International. There are helicopters in the air, and on the ground, the corkman has thrown caution to the wind in what seems to be a desperate chase. Also under pressure, Cyril Bolton trying very hard to defend that 3rd place, so hardly won on yesterday's stages. Cyril and co-driver Derek Irvine's big threat now comes from the late charging Phil Colliins. Phil Colliins and Roger Freeman are destined for 4th, as they have now overtaken Vincent Bonner, and with 7 of the top 10 still absolutely on the limit, the huge crowds are loving every second of it. And seconds are what it's all about in the Shell Donegal International. Bonner's over-enthusiasm begins to show, but he has driven superbly, showing that 1983 was no flash in the pan. Bonner and Seamus McGettigan will finish 5th. this exuberance brought Pat Kirk and Godfrey Crawford home in 9th place. But all eyes turned to the leaders for one of the greatest rally climaxes of all time, the penultimate stage, and there's only 8 seconds in it. Both are absolutely on the limit. McHale is safely through, and here comes Coleman, as you will seldom see him, at 10 tenths. Then comes the sensational news. Austin has overshot, Coleman leads by 1 second, and the last stage has been cancelled due to spectator problems. The Rothmans camp can hardly believe it, as Bill Morrison and Dave Richards congratulate their hero.
They don't get closer than that.
Did you see the reaction in the last one?
Yes, you were obviously giving everything.
I need grass up underneath.
So you're happy anyway?
Oh yeah. A bit close for comfort, but anyway.
That has got to be the understatement of the year.
We went out this morning with what seemed like an impossible task. We drove all yesterday with a certain target. We got within 9 seconds of that last night, as we thought, and we came out this morning, we discovered we were a further half minute back for reasons we've already discussed, which was a hell of a blow, because we understood yesterday that penalty was being applied to the other car, and it was subsequently deleted. We're not quite sure why. So it meant that we were down to today to make up for another 30 seconds, and I must say it looked quite impossible, but thank goodness we made it anyway, and the car went like an absolute treat. I'm fortunate to drive for one of the top teams in the world, and I think your driving rises to that position, and I felt I had to do justice to the team and the chaps and the great group of mechanics, and you know, they had kept the car going for us after various mishaps, and I really felt I owed, you know, to all of us to give it everything. So we made it anyway.
10-10 driving all
Absolutely,
the time. Absolutely,
especially the last couple today now. The last 3.
The Letterkenny Accordion Band leads the victorious Rothmans Porsche to the ramp for the closest finish in Irish rallying memory. Coleman is still king, but let's not forget the gallant drive by Austin McHale in the Shell Oil's dealer Opel Team Ireland Manta. It could be kinder to call him the second winner. Cyril Bolton was 3rd, retaining his STP lead, Phil Colliins 4th, Vincent Bonner 5th, and Mike Patterson 6th. Group A went to Eamon Harvey in the Sunbeam, and Group N to David Wright in the Peugeot 205 GTI. But Sunday in Donegal belonged to Billy Coleman in one of the greatest and certainly the most thrilling victories of his long career. In rallying, every second counts, and this was never more graphically illustrated than on the 1985 Shell Donegal International Rally.
If you ever get this smoke out today, I don't know. And there's Roman. Congratulations.